Hello, hello. We are ID-ify, and we are securely autofilling government forms. So here was our team for the weekend. I'm Devin, and we had Hubert, Ian, Habib, and Ricky also all grinding out this project. It was a really fun time. And what we were trying to solve here was essentially the need to refill the exact same data over and over again into government forms across different branches or sections of the government who aren't speaking together and aren't sharing data across one another. So you might be filling in your own date of birth over and over again. You might be running into typing challenges or accessibility issues. And we know that the government has this data from us already. We've entered it 1,000 times. They have our IDs. They have our date of birth. We probably don't need to physically type this in over and over again. So the solution we kind of came up with today was a bit of a developer-first solution, building out a standards-compliant web component to securely request this personal information and autofill it into government forms. And we really wanted it to kind of be a one-click magic button for people to integrate into their sites or their form submissions that would populate this data based on our architecture, which has modular data providers for different situations as might be needed. So we'll do a quick demo here. Here's our little home page, and we've mocked up a few forms you might see across Government of Alberta sites. This one is a good example. What you do, you see our little ID-ify icon. You might hit our button. You'll scan or take a photo of your ID. This is just a sample. So take a snap, submit it, and it's going to process that and read the image and all your text off of the ID card. You might think it's a little slow. Maybe you can type it in fast enough, but if we could build this all in 14 hours, we can certainly make it faster. So there you go. You see it successfully auto-populated. We have our name, our last name, date of birth, the gender as specified on the ID card, and everything came through nicely. So I'll hand it over to chat a little bit about our architecture.
Awesome. Yeah, so let's talk about some of the ID providers that we were thinking of. We had 3, and so the first one was a client-side only. So this whole idea is based off of security so that we don't send anything to the server. We would take a picture, send the image into our client-side engine. We were using Tesseract first, and so that attempt would take that image and kind of output some text. We ran into a few limitations there, and so that's what led us to our second attempt, the OCR server. So the OCR server is what you just saw as demo, and that essentially takes the image and sends it over to our server, which uses the Azure Document Intelligence to translate that image into text. From there, we take the text and we put it through OpenAPI to generate our JSON model. So right now, of course, that's actually not the most secure, but given some more time, we definitely could train our own model to do that. And finally, we have a third data provider that we didn't get to explore, but I think definitely is worth checking out. And that's when you click the ID-ify button, a little pop-up comes up where you can sign in with your Alberta ID. That JWT then allows you to grab the data that the government already has of you and sends it back as JSON to fill out the form. So that's kind of the 3 data providers we got. And so we did run into a few considerations for the project. Privacy, of course, was very important. So that's why we tried with the local client side first. Ran into some issues, so we moved on. We have some developer experience that we really wanted to focus on. So one web component that could be consumed by React and Angular developers. And then our user experience, of course, is what we're purely focusing on, is to allow us to fill the forms better, type less, and even allow mobile devices to fill out forms, because you know how difficult it is to type on a mobile device. And some of the limitations that we did run into, OCR technology is not the greatest yet, especially with Tesseract. Our photo quality was a little bit tricky to get right, but it worked well for our demo. And of course, the speed of response. So how long it takes to get the data back. But other than that, I think, yeah, this seems to be something that we're pretty proud of. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to message us in Discord. We'll make a thread with ID-ify, and you can see us there. Feel free to check out the site and the GitHub. The server will be taken down in a few days, just so that we don't rack up a bill. But yeah, feel free to take a look.